Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank all of you for participating today. Ms. Lounsbury, your work specifically focuses on how businesses reduce their risk with regard to the PLA and the CCP. Is there any separation at all between the CCP and the PLA?
Well, the short answer is no. I think, though, for certain companies, there is perhaps a less risk that the PLA would be interested in certain industries, so it's not as relevant for, say, a certain product versus, telecom or any of the strategic emerging industries that are on the top, tier of our own national competitiveness.
Okay. And in your testimony, you deal largely with the issue of American companies doing business in China. Do you have any information regarding how the CCP and their affiliated businesses operate in the United States? Are their practices here through subsidiaries largely as manipulative as they are in China?
I would also say that there is something called a hybrid structure or a quasi-private structure where a Chinese company might look like it's private, but in fact does have a CPC cell that will not be disclosed. So finding that is very, very difficult, and even here in this country.
We have a situation in my district where there is a company that is an American subsidiary of a Chinese owned company. And in the parent company, which is based in China, the Articles of Association, it basically pledges to advance the goals of the Chinese Communist Party and requires them to do that. To what extent do you feel that that would sort of, infiltrate the American-owned version of that, or American-located version of that?
Well, it may not be what you want to hear, but you have to be very careful. There is, companies have to go back and forth. They are, funded by parent company. There are internal service agreements, I'm sure, and those will be contingent on X, Y, and Z metrics. So just check that.
And, I've been told by people in business that there may be 50 or more companies that are based in our home state that have, in order to do business with an affiliated business in China, these kinds of messaging in their Articles of Association. Are you finding that around the country? Is that a common thing?
Could you define Articles of Association that are back at the China headquarters?
Yes.
That are not showing up in the American subsidiaries?
Right.
Articles of Association for China headquarter firms, again, it may not work this way for our companies going to China. There are different accountability, different standards. But again, I would say that there is a sieve. There is a connection between those articles and the overall, again, China Communist Party requirements to follow and obey the party's intent. So it is not clean cut.
So what does that mean if we're looking to onshore some of the supply chain and then we're partnering with Chinese-based companies in doing that?
It means, again, look closely at the degree of affiliation to, it is interesting, and perhaps Desmond will have more to say about that, but there's one thing to have a state-owned enterprise. There's another to have that quasi-private firm, and then there's a third level, which is the foreign firm or foreign subsidiary. There is a degree of separation, but it is still tangible that any sort of party affiliation in any of our companies is still palpable. Less so, but still there.
Mr. Shum, would you care to comment on that?
I would say the metaphor will be you are having sleeper cells in your community. So they operate normally as a company, but in every company and the way the party sees it, every company, every individual is a tool that the party can call upon any time. So essentially, you're having a sleeper cells that may be activated as the party sees fit.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Torres.